Wandile, the United States, that is traditionally a major role player in the grain industry globally, has had a bit of a bad start with its season. How is this impacting the global grain situation?
I mean, there were concerns when the season started that they would plant less hectares of maize, less hectares of soybeans, and they really did compared to some of the good seasons that they've had. But the situation is not that bad. If you look at the latest numbers for August, for example, global grain production, global maize in particular, is down by just a percentage point, with about 1.1 billion tons of maize that is expected. So that means that maize prices globally are likely to remain really sideways. We're not going to see much of a decline, but even the uptick will be largely about marginal. Is not going to be that much. On a soybean story, it's pretty much also the same, less than what they harvested last year, but again, some other countries, particularly the South American ones, they've boosted to make sure that at a global level, at least we will have some solid supply. So I expect soybeans and maize prices to be marginally higher than what we saw last year, but it's by no means going to be a drastic increase. I think the late good weather in the US has somewhat provided some good conditions for them.
Staying on the cereals and the grains, the South African wheat industry is making a slight comeback, but we still remain a netto importer of wheat. What is the situation currently like in the Black Sea countries from where we import the majority of our wheat?
Yeah, the South African guys, for example, if we start from here at home, we are making a slight comeback. We're expecting, for example, this year production of about 1.8 million tons or so, which is good. It might be slightly in line with what we harvested last year, but the import volumes that we will need, it will still be around about 1.4 million tons of imports. And from the countries that we'll be getting that from, they are now this year even having a much better crop than last year. Global wheat production is up by 3% compared to last year. The good boost is coming from the Black Sea countries. And what that means then is that global wheat prices are likely to be pretty much sideways to downward side. And if you are a consumer in South Africa, that's a benefit for you, obviously depending on what the currency will look like rand to the US dollar. But if you are a farmer, that is pretty much a difficulty because prices are not going to be great. The only thing that can save profitability is if the rand remains at a relatively weaker levels. But we know how that plays when it comes to the planting season. It's not something that you want to see.